Zero work-life balance. This is a real aspiration and dream for just a lot of people in tech. In retail, we are regularly subjected to harassment. Best time ever at this company. Apple failure to handle harassment conduct in the workplace. Not good. Hello, and welcome back to another video. My name is Preston, and I'm a recruiter in the technology industry. In this video, we're gonna check out what it's like to actually work at Apple, one of the big tech, one of the FANG companies that almost everyone knows about or has at least heard about. But before we get started, feel free to support a fellow recruiter. Give us a like, subscribe, click that bell. Really means a lot. But before we get started, as always, please take all of these reviews with a grain of salt. A lot of these are taken from Glassdoor.com, from real, current, or previous employees. I'm excited to dig in. Let's check it out. So we finally made the Glassdoor, and this is the main page for Apple. As you can see, they're a gigantic company. They have over 10,000 employees, public company, doing over $10 billion of revenue, founded in 1976, headquartered in California. Check this out. I mean, massive shout out to the architects and designers. I mean, look at this headquarters. If I were to work at one company, I would love to work here. It's like a futuristic UFO, a giant metallic scientific ring that just like landed in the middle of California. Now you can also see it was voted the best place to work in 2022, and you scroll down, they even have a bunch of Glassdoor awards. So far they're starting off on a really good note here. But let's go and click on reviews. There's a little over 33,000 reviews, which is absolutely crazy. Out of almost 28,000 full-time, part-time English, employees have given Apple a 4.2 out of 5, which is relatively pretty high in the Glassdoor. 83% would recommend Apple to a friend, which is very high, and 91% approve of CEO. And Tim Cook has a little over 6,964 ratings. Now, as always, we're gonna sort this by popularity, and let's see what people are actually saying. We got environmental consultant, interesting, October 9, 2022, fairly recent actually, it was actually yesterday. The pros, incredible people who treat each other with respect. They ask for help and you will get it completely, and they will reassure you that you will have what you need. I don't see any cons. Wow, couldn't sound or look much better than this. Smart people, they treat each other with respect, and then if you need feedback or help, they help you out. They give Apple a 4.0 out of 5, a 1 out of in work-life balance. So I think if there's gonna be a con here, it's gonna probably talk about work-life balance, and 3 out of 5 out of culture, values, career, compensation, and senior management. That's pretty good. Don't know what this person does. They recommend CEO proof and business outlook. Pros. We work with geniuses, literal geniuses. If you wanna work and you think you're a genius, go work at Apple. In every department, we create innovative products that thrill our customers and create new products categories. I mean, who else can say that? I think in tech, or really in any company, you want to work at a company that has some sort of tangible impact in the world, whether it's like something sustainable, climate change, good for the planet type of thing, or actually making really awesome products, consumable products that you see just everywhere. And obviously Apple, I'm filming on my MacBook Pro, I have an iPhone, and I'm sure a lot of you who are watching this have some sort of Apple products, whether it's utilizing their hardware or some of their software apps, or maybe even their AirPods, which I love too, or the iWatch. Cons. Zero work-life balance. Executives have been saying for years that they understand and will make it better, but in actuality, it gets worse every year. It is obviously top management lip service, because if they meant it, they could fix it tomorrow. They have hundreds of billions of dollars in the bank. If they really cared about employees' work-life balance, they could bring aboard the right number of folks to make this issue dissolve. Sick of hearing lies, just don't lie about wanting to fix it when they clearly don't care. This was written in 2014, so keep in mind this is pretty old, but not surprised. I mean, everyone aspires to work at the big tech, the FANGs, the Facebook, the Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, sometimes Microsoft, and they're known just for amazing office perks and culture and benefits. But a lot of people also know that sometimes, depending on the team or company as a whole, it could be very rigorous and stressful in terms of the culture. A lot of it's based on metrics and performance. And if you don't cut it, your job, your livelihood can be on the line. And so it really comes to no surprise for me to kind of hear this, that yes, like you're paid well, it's prestigious to work at Apple, but they expect you to put everything into the job, and as a result, that will 100% affect your work-life balance. And unfortunately, that's what's happening here. What's even more unfortunate is that the executives, they just do this lip service where they're like, hey, this is a problem, we're gonna fix it, but nothing actually gets done. Again, this was written about 8 years ago, so if you're a current Apple employee or you worked at Apple before, please let me know. Did things improve, or are things actually still really difficult? This person, at Home Advisor, ranks it out of 5. Position is at home, which is great. Company is amazing, limitless advancement opportunities. You work with some very cool people and the leadership cares about your development, and all these are great stuff. You may get coaching but never get battered or belittled. The pay is decent. The benefits include 401k match, stock purchase options, product discounts on services across many different areas, education assistance, childcare assistance, paid vacation, sick time, and other time off options, including health club reimbursements, bike costs. You get 1.5 for overtime, and it's pretty much unlimited as long as you don't exceed 12 hours a day. So, I mean, this sounds amazing, fantastic benefits, overtime. A lot of these reviews are from people who have a lot of different types of roles within Apple, but for this person in particular, sounds great. The schedule changes every 90 days, and you have to bid for your shifts, so you never know what you're going to get. Ooh, that could be a little bit nervous or nerve-wracking for a lot of people who are just on a work schedule that changes a lot. You just never know like what's going to happen, whether you're going to be working early in the mornings, later in the days, weekends, and that could be very just difficult and anxiety-inducing just to be able to plan your life around. Again, exactly what I just said, it makes it extremely hard to plan your life. You pretty much have to work Saturday and Sundays. That's a shame. But again, you know, for all the pros, maybe it's worth it to you. The manager consists of a team manager and the area manager. Meetings are held over video and chat. They are supportive and individual development to help you reach your goal. Nice. Management will challenge you if you want to advance, but it's always in the spirit of making you better. Sweet. All right, that sounded pretty good. You got a software engineer written in 2016. Working at Apple means that things you work on will get into the hands of hundreds of millions of people, and I think this is a real aspiration and dream for just a lot of people in tech, but also even other industries. You want to be, you know, you're hopeful that one day you're given a chance to work on a product that you can see, like your friends are using, your colleagues using, you on the subway, you commute, airport, you see people using. Like, that is awesome, and that just gets you like really fired up and excited about your product. It's a lot of pressure to get things right, which is just, you know, what we just talked about earlier, and drives one to do the best work of their lives. I think a lot of pressure can either inspire you to push to do better, or for a lot of people, they'll start cracking and they succumb to the pressure and then they just get filtered out, which is unfortunate. 2.5 years later, a little over 2 years later, I'm still blown away by the talent and creativity of people I work with. Again, no surprise, especially for someone in recruiting. The talent, the process of getting to Apple and all these big tech companies are very rigorous, prestigious. It's very difficult to get in. And so people who are part of the Apple team, like undoubtedly they are great at what they do. And there's a reason why they get hired. And so if you're there, you know, you can obviously surround yourself with amazing people, geniuses, and it just hopefully inspires you to be a better person or better professional. Con, it's a lot of work. Teams are usually strapped with resources and under pressure to deliver on strict timelines, leading to high stress and long hours at certain times during the year. I get it. This is just what we talked about. You are plucked from the world into the family of Apple, surrounded by geniuses. You're getting paid really well. The perks and benefits are ridiculous, but what's the catch? Gotta work hard. Gotta work really, really, really hard. So make sure that hopefully you end up on a good team. Of course, a lot of it can differ on the teams, your hiring manager, and what you do at a company like Apple. But I think on the whole, like, they will just expect a lot from you. Advice: keep fighting for what's right. Renewable energy, civil liberties, working conditions, everything. I couldn't be prouder of that aspect in this company. In the end, it's about a lot more than profits and earnings. So yeah, overall, this is a fantastic review. Gives Apple a 5 out of 5. The only thing that's not 4, at least 4, is the work-life balance. Company as meticulous as their products. They're specialists. The pros: competitive pay, benefits, amazing people, great work, awesome opportunities, excellent experiences, great atmosphere, beautiful store, none. Cons: none. Best time ever at this company. Hopefully I stay on to go to corporate. So I think with this person, they're a specialist at a store, and it seems what's really cool is like if you do really, really well, it can possibly be a ladder for you to get to the corporate headquarters. That's really cool. If you have any experience working at the store as a specialist, or maybe you have was able to get out of the store into corporate, or you know someone who's did, please share comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Ooh, product specialist 3.0, Apple failure to handle harassment conduct in the workplace. Not good. Some pros are pay, benefits, and stock, but let's look at the cons. Apple wrongfully terminated an employee who showed evidence of them being pursued and being manipulated and lied to. That's a loaded sentence, but that's not a good one. And left that person with no information for over 3 weeks or asked for any other evidence. They chose to fire them without having all the information and having misinformation. That coworker was terminated with false information and misplaced info given to Apple. They used that person to set an example due to just a few weeks before the investigation news article came out of Apple, and Apple has failed to handle harassment conduct. That coworker was set up and had all the evidence, and they still chose to fire that employee. but the other party involved, nothing was done to them and they broke business conduct. Oh my God, the other party sent nudes to a coworker without asking, pursued the male coworker, making it seem like she was interested in them and would express how she liked them, to then claim that she was never into them and there were messages to prove. But because the man did not make the claim, was manipulated to thinking it was, terminated was under wrongful terms. Advice: actually look out for their employees. There are a lot of misconduct that happens at the workplace daily and no one says a thing. People are actually harassed and do not know how to handle it. It is not only women, but men are actually manipulated too at work and then used as an example for being set up. This is a very insightful comment because yes, harassment does happen at all levels, at all companies. It doesn't just happen on one sex. It happens to everyone. So I think for that, this is a very valuable thing to read. I think, again, it's extremely unfortunate, horrible situation where if a wrong was happened to you, then the perpetrator or the person that conducted that action does not get penalized or kicked out or punished, right? And so I think that would be horrible to morale, to people who are on the team who maybe perhaps observed or seen it happen, the behaviors in question. It's just not a good look short term. And then if it becomes blatantly clear that it's some sort of cover up is happening, maybe favoritism for a certain employee over others, it can get very, very complicated very quickly. And so yes, it's very, very important to be fair in these situations, but also, do whatever you can, that part of the onboarding or HR training, that a lot of trainings, clear communication, can talk openly about these situations because unfortunately they happen. And when they happen, people need to know exactly what they need to do, how do they report it, how do they communicate it, and will that be in a safe space? This person, operations specialist. Good company values, not the best follow through. The company stands for a lot of great things, helping the environment, giving opportunities to underprivileged communities across the country more. That's awesome. The team of peers can be very tight knit and it's a joy to see the people you work alongside with. Awesome. Leadership, cons, is subpar. Ooh, so this is particularly across several stores. I have experienced colleagues mistreated more times than I can count. In retail, we are regularly subjected to harassment and abuse from customers with little to no support. There is no commission and no real opportunity to negotiate pay. For a company worth almost $3 trillion, we should be paid much more, especially in flagship locations. I think any job at a company like Apple, whether you're at the store or corporate, is of equal importance. And it is important that everything that an employee wants and looks for in a company, basic stuff like fair wages, benefits, and PTO should be clearly communicated to everyone. And a company, especially like Apple, that's super high profile, or is publicly disclosed how much money a company like Apple has, it will undoubtedly get more and more questions if not a lot of that doesn't get reinvested into the team, or if the team believes that it's just none of it's going to reinvest, or if it is not for the right purposes and they don't really see it trickle down and affecting their lives or their work. So yes, I can see how that will be very, very difficult for just morale and for excitement in your job. And if that's not going to happen, maybe there needs to be some sort of better internal communication as to why it's not happening, right? Not negotiating with pay or not having the opportunity, that's obviously very, very difficult. And again, harassment, very, very difficult, sensitive topic that unfortunately does happen. Change can only happen if it gets backing for the leadership, and if leaderships don't do anything, nothing's gonna happen. Advice, listen to your employees genuinely without following up with excuses. Business intelligent developer, this was written this month. Prestigious for people who don't work in the company, you will get discounts on Apple products. That's amazing. I mean, if I got Apple product discounts, that'd be absolutely amazing. If there are any Apple employees watching this and be willing to give us a discount, please reach out to me. Cons, they did not provide me a better experience letter after quitting. This letter is important to apply for I-140, which is a visa situation. This is a big red flag on the kind of company it is. If you're on a visa, do not be associated with this company because they will use your visa status to abuse you and will not give you any experience letter when you quit. The work culture is so bad that you will end up working 10 plus hours per day and management will do nothing to improve conditions and use the visa as a leash. I don't know too much about visas to talk about this company, but from my understanding is typically if you're coming from this country, you immigrated, or you just need work as a visa, once you get a visa transfer to sponsor the company, it's not like you can get another job if you hate it like tomorrow. Unfortunately, the company knows this, and for every visa to be sponsored or visa, it has to go through a process, and it can cost a lot of money, it can have a lot of time. So once that happens, you're typically locked in for at least several years. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And so the best case scenario is that you get a job and you love it, you get treated fairly, you get paid well. But the worst case scenario is somehow the opposite happens when the company is abusing you, uses it as a control mechanism. And then for instance, like if you end up leaving like this person, they don't really help you get another visa or help you with that transition. And that could be a very difficult, stressful situation for someone, because if they can only be in the US and only get a job based on a visa, but then your previous employer doesn't help, doesn't provide the necessary documents, or doesn't even say anything positive or really want to make an effort to help you get another visa, that could mean you maybe will have a lot of difficulty getting a job. And then, you don't usually have unlimited time in the States to find another job. It's usually a limited amount of time, from which if you fail to get another job, you might have to go back to your home country. So like, it's very, very stressful. It's other levels of complexity and difficulty, especially for people who are here working on a visa. My heart goes out to all these people, and I know a lot of amazing talent can't get jobs in the States because of strictly just the visa situation. And then to now, understand that like a lot of the people don't like the job, they're unhappy, or they feel like to an extent they're abused, like that's really, really sad. Great atmosphere to work. iOS technical support advisor. Position offers great benefits while providing troubleshooting skills that help beyond work. Managers are helpful, will try to best assist you. Becomes very repetitive and monotonous since my position was virtual, so I was the only one in my space. Unlike the other videos, what's really interesting here with the reviews, the popular ones, is it's with a variety of different types of roles. Not all of them are corporate, not all of them are on the stores. We're able to just hear a lot of really cool, like high-level overview from a lot of different types of jobs within Apple. On the plus side, as expected, like it is a great place. It's very prestigious. It'll help you on your resume. It'll help you in your career. You get paid super well. You get amazing benefits, amazing culture, amazing growth. But again, like with any company out there, it does have its issues. I think there have been surprisingly a couple posts in this video about harassment, which is obviously a really dynamic, evolving conversation. I think without going into it too deep, it's very important to have to offer proper training on these so that people know what the right protocols are if said situations does happen to them. And then if it happens, just I hope it becomes, they do whatever they can to establish a safe space that people will listen, people will care for them, and then there will be fairness that happens. The second biggest theme is you'll just work really, really hard. So yes, you think that if you work at these companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, life is good, you can kind of coast. But for most people, like to be able to access the best things about working in these companies, the catch is you just have to work really, really hard day in, day out. And for some of these other types of positions, maybe in the stores, you're on freelancing, you'll have to work on the weekends. And it's very difficult to have proper work-life balance with friends and family, or just planning overall, just life planning. So make sure you take into the account. But again, if you worked at Apple, you know someone who's did, would love to hear from your experience. Again, I have so much fun making these videos. I hope it was fun, enlightening, and educational for a lot of you. If there are other companies you want me to review, please make sure to drop it down below. We'd love to make more of these. But thank you so much again, and we'll see you on the next one.